How's it going, everybody? I am Morgan and welcome back to the Hall of Film YouTube channel. Now, today is a very special day. It is the first time we will all be voting on the first set of inductees. I thought we'd choose the modern time period since it's probably the easiest for everybody. Don't forget, if you've not already, subscribe, hit the bell notification, comment down below because I will need your comments here and over on X of your top 10 actors, actresses, directors, and of course films from the time period, which is from 1990 to the present day. If you've not seen the first video, that is a better in-depth explanation of what you can expect on the channel. Don't forget, whatever your first place is worth 10 points, and whatever your 10th place is worth 1. I've written down on here my top 10 of everything. I will probably run out of words to explain all of these incredible people and films, so if I repeat myself, then I do apologise. But let's start off with the actresses. So, coming in at 10th, we have Jodie Foster, of course. Incredible actress. Not got the deepest filmography in terms of wow, but she has Silence of the Lambs, and that is one of the best movies, in my opinion, to come out, full stop. She's incredible. Then we have Judi Dench. Of course, for a lot of people, they might only know her from James Bond, but a great, like, old school English actress. The Academy absolutely loved her in the this time period. Had multiple Oscar nominations, and rightfully so. She's an incredible just person and actress. Then we have Kate Winslet, of course. Titanic, Sense and Sensibility, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Lee more recently. One of my personal favourites was when she was a voice actor in Flushed Away, which was a favourite of mine as a kid. Then we have Michelle Williams, one of the most versatile actresses out there. Whether she's playing Marilyn Monroe or whether she's in Brokeback Mountain, Manchester by the Sea, Fabelmans, Greatest Showman, Shutter Island, incredible. Then we have Amy Adams again. The versatility of her is incredible. Doubt, which is a movie that is stacked with incredible actors that will be probably mentioned a lot in this. Then she was in The Fighter, The Master, American Hustle, Arrival, Vice. Then we have Viola Davis, as I like to call her, the scene stealer. Anytime she's on screen, she is the star, whether she's in it for a minute or a longer time period. But again, Doubt, The Help, Prisoners, Fences, incredible. Then we have Frances McDormand, of course. Fargo, Three Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, which is an incredible film. I've seen it once and it's stuck with me ever since. Then, of course, the most decorated actress ever, most Oscar nominations, widely regarded as like the greatest actress ever, Meryl Streep. I don't think I need to say anything to justify her being on this list. Then we've got, again, one of my favourites, it's Emma Stone. My opinion, the greatest actress on the planet right now, and she will be an all-timer. So I have her at number 2. And then my number 1, I didn't expect this going into preparing my list, but the more I looked at her filmography and her versatility, and she's just a powerhouse actress, I chose Cate Blanchett. Whether she's playing Queen Elizabeth, Lord of the Rings, of course, Tar, which was an incredible movie from a couple of years ago. So yeah, just to recap, we have Jodie Foster, Judi Dench, Kate Winslet, Michelle Williams, Amy Adams, Viola Davis, Frances McDormand, Meryl Streep, Emma Stone, and Kate Blanchett. Let me know what your top 10 actresses are, of course, down below and over on X. Moving on to actors, coming in at 10th, again, Silence of the Lambs is popping up. It is Sir Anthony Hopkins. Again, like Jodie Foster, not the deepest filmography in this time period, but Silence of the Lambs carries a lot of weight. Of course, he was also Van Helsing in Bram Stoker's Dracula. More recently, he was nominated for The Two Popes and The Father. And just again, one of the best old school English actors. Speaking of old school English actors and versatility, we have Mr. Gary Oldman, man of a thousand faces for a reason. Dracula, JFK, Leon the Professional, The Fifth Element, Harry Potter, The Dark Knight, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. Of course, he got the Oscar win for playing Winston Churchill. Just any time he's on screen, you know you're getting an amazing, versatile performance. Then we've got one of the best actors out there right now, Joaquin Phoenix. Whether it's Joker, The Master, Her, Walk the Line, Gladiator. Again, he is a scene stealer. Then Philip Seymour Hoffman. Have I seen all of his movies? No. I know the respect that man earns and deserves and the reputation that he has. He is just an incredible actor. Again, Doubt, Big Lebowski, Boogie Nights, Magnolia, many, many, many more. Then this was the person I was interested where they would fall for me, because I'm not the biggest fan of them. It's Tom Hanks, but I feel like he has to be on here and he has to be fairly high. Sleepers in Seattle, Philadelphia, Forrest Gump, The Green Mile, Castaway, of course, a lot more recent ones as well, with varying success, but an incredible actor nonetheless. Then Christian Bale, one of, if not my favourite actors, whether he's Batman, whether he's losing I don't know how many pounds playing in The Machinist, just method actor, probably beyond method acting. He takes it sometimes possibly too far, but you get incredible performances. Even if the movies aren't great, you walk away going, Bale was amazing. Then Robert De Niro, very weird career during this time period, because he started off with Goodfellas, Cape Fear, Casino, Heat, Jackie Brown. Then in the 2000s to even the early 2010s, his career was in a weird place. But then he bounced back with Joker, Irishman, and of course recently Killers of the Flower Moon. Then we've got Denzel Washington. Again, I feel like I don't need to really explain that. One of the best actors of all time. Malcolm X, Philadelphia, Hurricane, Training Day, American Gangster, Fences more recently. Even in Gladiator 2, which was a movie I wasn't particularly a fan of, I walked away going, Denzel was amazing, because he always is. Coming in at number 2, we've got, of course, Leonardo DiCaprio. Again, it speaks for itself. I don't really need to mention all of the movies, because I'd mention in a whole bunch of movies that he's been in. But incredible actor, and every time he's on an upcoming movie, I'm interested and will watch. And then my number 1, Daniel Day-Lewis. There Will Be Blood, Gangs of New York, Lincoln, many more, of course, as well. He's so missed in acting. I wish he hadn't have retired, but he retired with an incredible filmography, and in my opinion, the number 1 best actor of this time period. Moving on to the directors, we've got Damien Chazelle at 10. So young, so good. the fact he made La La Land at 32 and he made Whiplash at 30 is incredible. I'm 26 next month, and I felt a failure watching what he's done with his life so far. And of course, he had Babylon recently, which I know wasn't everybody's favourite movie. I really liked it. I think he's just an incredible director, and I can't wait to see what he does more with his career. Then we've got Peter Jackson, Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit trilogy, and of course King Kong, which was one of my favourites growing up as a kid. I don't feel like I need to say anything more but The Lord of the Rings. Then we've got David Fincher, possibly just the best thriller maker recently. Um, just Seven, Fight Club, Zodiac, Social Network. Then we have Steven Spielberg, of course, Schindler's List, The Fabelmans, Lincoln, Saving Private Ryan. The man, the man just does blockbusters and kind of created the new Hollywood boom as well with Jaws, which I'm sure he'll get inducted for that when we do the new Hollywood time period. Then I chose the Coen Brothers, of course, Fargo, The Big Lebowski, No Country for Old Men, the True Grit remake. They just craft brilliant movies. Then we've got Paul Thomas Anderson, Boogie Nights, Magnolia, There Will Be Blood, Phantom Thread, Punch Love Drunk. He's got a movie upcoming soon with Leo, which I cannot wait to see what their collaboration is going to be. I feel like in terms of directors, Paul Thomas Anderson gets something out of actors that no other director can. Um, then we've got Wes Anderson, who is somebody who might be number one for you. He might not even be top 10 for others. Very diversive director. Of course, Rushmore, Royal Tenenbaums, Fantastic Mr. Fox, Moonrise Kingdom, Grand Budapest Hotel, Isle of Dogs, French Dispatch. I love the world he creates with every movie, and it just feels like a warm hug watching a Wes Anderson movie. Coming in at 3, we've got the king of gangster and crime movies, Martin Scorsese. Goodfellas, Cape Fear, Casino, Gangs of New York, Departed, Wolf of Wall Street, Killers of the Flower Moon. Just one of the greatest directors of all time, and we should all just appreciate that we've been able to watch his movies in the cinema and just sit and enjoy them. Coming in at number 2, we've got Quentin Tarantino. Again, very diversive director like Wes is. He might be in your top 10, he might not, which is fine. I mean, you've got Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, Kill Bill, and Glorious Bastards, Django Unchained, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. One of my favourite directors. And then, speaking of favourite directors, my all-time favourite director, it is Christopher Nolan at number 1. Memento, Insomnia, The Dark Knight trilogy, of course, Inception, The Prestige, which is a super underrated movie, Interstellar, Dunkirk, Oppenheimer. He does only practical, never CGI. And he just gets, again, he's another director like Paul Thomas Anderson. He gets things out of actors that I don't think many other directors can. One person who was close to being on this list was Denis Villeneuve, who I'm sure will probably be in a lot of people's top tens, which, yeah. Then we have got the final bit, so we have films. Coming in at 10, we've got Everything Everywhere All at Once by the Daniels. One of my favourite movies. I've got the poster from the A24 Collector's Edition right there. Incredible performances, a multiverse done right, which is something Marvel wishes they could do. Then we have the Coen Brothers. I've mentioned it before. No Country for Old Men. Javier Bardem gives one of, if not the most incredible villain performances, probably only second to Sir Anthony Hopkins' Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lambs. Then we have There Will Be Blood by Paul Thomas Anderson, starring Daniel Day-Lewis. Daniel Day-Lewis in There Will Be Blood, probably my favourite performance of all time. Just incredible movie, an incredible performance. Paul Dano's also in it, who's amazing. Then we have La Haine, the French movie. If you've not seen it, I highly recommend that people go out and source it and try and find it, because it's a movie I watched once. It's one of my favourites. It's stayed with me still to this day. It is incredible. Then we've got Silence of the Lambs, as I previously talked about. It's one of the best movies created. It's one of the best Oscar wins as well. It is incredible. Everything that people say about it is true. Then we've got a Lord of the Rings. We have Return of the King. People might say Fellowship is better, which is fine, and I'm talking about the extended editions. Return of the King is the culmination of the story. It is this epic, and I was lucky enough that the first time I ever saw the Lord of the Rings trilogy was back to back to back in the cinema, which was like a 12-hour day, which was exhausting and exhilarating at the same time. Then we've got Parasite from 2019 by Bong Joon-ho. I watched it recently and it's got to fourth. It could have been higher. Incredible movie. If you're in the UK, it is on Netflix. Please do yourself a favour and go and watch it. It's indescribable. It is such a good movie. Then we've got, again, one of my favourite movies. I've seen it once and it's stayed with me and haunted me ever since I watched it. It is Steven Spielberg's Schindler's List. Incredible performances by Liam Neeson and Ray Fiennes especially. Incredible cinematography, and directed by probably the only man who could have made it. Yeah, incredible. Then we have Pulp Fiction, probably one of the most inspirational movies out there. Quentin Tarantino's masterpiece, his number one movie in my opinion. Performances are incredible by a absolutely stacked cast. If you've somehow not watched it, I'm guessing everybody has by this point. I mean, I've got the poster right there. Go and watch it. And then number one, and the last thing on this list, is Shawshank Redemption. I know it's probably boring. I know people always say, oh, it's the greatest movie ever. It might be. It's certainly in the top 10 in my opinion. Again, it's a movie I've watched once and it stayed with me. If you manage to have that effect on me, I know you've created an incredible masterpiece, and that is exactly what it is, a masterpiece. Right, so that is my top 10 of each category. I hope you enjoyed. Before you go, make sure that you like the video, share it, comment below please your top 10 on here and over on X, and subscribe, and I will see you with either a review, a list, or we might be inducting the inductees for the first ever Hall of Film class. Thank you, and I will see you in the next video.